So Donald Trump is freaking out today, and this time it's over Korea. This is our headlines then. Donald Trump to increase tariffs on South Korea to 25%. And how did he alert the world? Of course, via tweet, for reals. And if you look at the Korean news, I guess they weren't notified. Korea not officially notified of Trump's tariff hike scheme. So basically the way Trump does any kind of deal making or foreign policy, whatever you want to call it, is via tweet. That's how ridiculous this stuff is. Let's lead the tweet together, and I'll show you guys some of the Korean response. First from Trump. Our trade deals are very important to America, okay? In each of these deals, we have acted swiftly to reduce our tariffs in line with the transaction agreed to. We, of course, expect our trading partners to do the same. Well, I mean, we expect you to do the same. Okay. South Korea's legislature is not living up to its deal with the United States. President Lee and I reached a great deal for both countries on July 30th, 2025, and we affirmed these terms while I was in Korea on October 29th, 2025. Why hasn't the Korean legislature approved it? So he's just impatient, basically. And we covered this. Actually, Trump was here in town, here in Busan, where I live, and we remember all this stuff. We talked about it. Because the Korean legislature hasn't enacted our historic trade agreement, which is their prerogative, I am hereby increasing South Korean tariffs on autos, lumber, pharma, and all other reciprocal tariffs from 15% to 25%. Thank you for your attention to this matter. All right, let me show you some Korean comments, as I'll just say this, Koreans have a sense of humor about this stuff. So one, this crazy guy is now openly interfering in our internal affairs. Does he think we're under American trusteeship? Okay, these are all Korean comments. Rump should go to jail too. And that refers to, actually, if you don't know, the former prime minister and the former president of Korea are in trouble for the martial law stuff they tried to do, going to jail, basically. And even following the story, people take this stuff seriously. Trump's wordplay is back again. Be careful. Here's another comment. It seems like you're relying on your national power to act like a braggart. What are you going to do if you turn the entire world into your enemy? Another one. I wish I could always see my allies as fools, LOL. American credit is at rock bottom. No contracts are trustworthy anymore. We'll become a third country. Don't look for your country's crisis in other countries, you fool. That's again coming from Korea. And I'll read some more comments as we go through the news. The Korean market then is reacting. I mean, raising the tariffs. Hyundai shares and other companies are down. And you always wonder, is like the Trump people, are they alerted ahead of time? Because you could clearly insider trade on this stuff. What they do is they draft whatever, Trumpy tweets. And this one, though, I think might have been a bit at last minute, though, because there's some related stuff with Canada, which I'll show you guys in a moment here. President Trump posted on this is from Korea. President Trump posted on his Truth Social account that he would increase the auto tariff and reciprocal tariffs on Korean goods from 15 to 25%, citing a delay in Korean Assembly's approval of the relevant law. We haven't been officially notified or received a detailed explanation from the U.S. government. Great. Quote, a high-level emergency meeting chaired by Kim Yong-bum, President, Chief of Staff for Policy, will be held later this morning with officials from relevant ministries in attendance to assess the situation and formulate a response. Because, it's like we just heard about today, and I'm recording this at 11 a.m., so I'm sure they're talking about, okay, what's going on here? And then they have to contact the Trump people. Like, is this guy serious? Are you for reals? I mean, it's all ridiculous. And then it's going to be evening in USA, so then it'll take a day, and you guys know. This is more comments coming in from Korea. If you keep doing this, you'll end up destroying yourself. Another one, just effing F. There's no point in negotiating anymore. If you change your mind, you'll lose your cool quickly. Just leave it alone. Another person, I think he's saying he's accompanying the Hyundai Motor chairman on his visit to Canada, but it really doesn't seem like he's there. Another person writes, dementia. And they mention the Canada stuff because if you don't know, and this is sort of what Trump is probably upset about, is Canada and Korea are becoming closer. The same way that Canada and China are becoming closer, which you can't blame other countries for making partnerships and relationships when the U.S. is completely unreliable. I mean, I think you guys know this. Let's take a look a little bit more here. This is some Korea. They also say Korea's economy and finance ministry said it is trying to understand the intent, that's a quote, the intent of the Trump statement. Official believes Trump may be referring to a proposed bill, et cetera, and then they'll see what they can do. This is more comments coming in from Korea. I told you not to deal with him, right? Go get that guy's gold crown right now. Give him back that piece of crap key and give him a 50% increase in semiconductor prices. Okay, it's coming out harsh. Another person. Y'all know it's because of Canadian Envoy, right? Since Hyundai Motors went with us, you've even more concerned, right? Is this really an alliance? It's frustrating. And actually, the delegation that Korea sent to Canada is actually fairly large. They were talking about 12 Korean firms, I guess, 9 Canadian firms are discussing various cooperations or memorandum of understanding. I guess there's 6 of these things they signed, so they want to do quite a lot of business together. Multiple industries. They said Hanwha Ocean, Algoma Steel, low Earth orbit satellites, so steel industry. You also have Canada's Telesat and MDA. So if you guys are in Canada, you might have heard of this. Might be big news for Canadians also. I'm sure it would be. And these are all big deals. You have some sort of trilateral thing regarding AI and Hanwha Systems and Cohere. Also mentioned, that this is a quote here. Korean companies already regard Canada as a reliable key partner. And this is obviously different than how they see USA these days, right? Korean companies already regard Canada as a reliable key partner. And expanding bilateral cooperation will help both countries strengthen their supply chain resilience, create more jobs, and enhance their global competitiveness, right? That's coming in from Korea. This is some more comments, and I'll tell you guys, because people always ask, like, what do Koreans know about the USA? They're pretty informed here. Here's another one. Just wait for the U.S. Supreme Court ruling. It's Trump who's in a hurry, not us. And that's actually a really good point where Trump's trying to rush all these deals and make headlines as much as he can to try to, turn things around before midterms. But I mean, they're in trouble. This is a sinking ship. And, if you brag about being such a great business person, then you shouldn't be so worried. I'm talking to Trump here. You shouldn't be so worried if other people can make business partnerships as well. It's like Trump, probably from Trump's point of view, when he sees other people making friends and then other people more smiling and they're all frowning around him, he knows something's wrong, right? Another person writes, how much does it cost to be like that? Or another one, are you changing your words again? Why are you like that? And someone says, Trump is crazy. He's arbitrarily overturning an agreement between us. What are you doing with the agreement? He's completely disrespecting our country. Another person writes, I have dementia. And you'll see a bunch of dementia comments coming from Koreans. Because trust me, guys, we can see it too, same way that Americans can see it everywhere around the world. Is it because the chief secretary went to Canada because of the submarine? And that's probably so. Here's another one. No. Why aren't you keeping your promise? LOL. You said negotiations don't need an agreement. So what the hell are you doing? And another person. It was the same when they had the summit then. Trump doesn't know the exact situation, LOL. He just believes what they say and imposes tariffs or whatever first. And the later, if it doesn't seem right, he withdraws it. So he's this person referring to the taco trade. And if you guys don't know, a lot of Koreans invest in the U.S. Market. So there's a lot of money going back and forth. So we do pay attention to U.S. news. I mean, it affects everyone around the world, not just Korea. And then when you're directly attacking Korea with tariffs and stuff like that. And I think a lot of this stuff also relates to Elon Musk, to where if Elon's like, man, I got no new products coming out, could you try to block Korean products or put tariffs on them to make my products more competitive? Because this is just the reality. It's not just Korea. You could talk about Germany. You could talk about China. There are other companies out there that just absolutely trash Tesla. It's obvious. And it's any number of products there. And so their only recourse is, you make better products. Okay, we're going to put tariffs on you. Good luck with that. HMK. People in a hurry always rush things. Again, a comment from Korea. People in a hurry always rush things. We need to carefully examine every single word and number before passing a bill. Imitate the time and the effort the government put into reaching agreements, right? So, which is, I think, is totally reasonable if you are indeed going to try to do some sort of deal with USA. Yeah, it's going to go through your parliament. People are going to take a look at it. Then you got to figure out, okay, what makes sense. And also multiple companies then need to sign on board. And it's just a whole, process to this. But again, Trump is running out of time. And so he wants to try to make big headlines and get his Instagram photos or whatever. Another person, from Korea, you're a diplomatic genius, right? Another one. In the end, negotiating with Trump is completely meaningless. And another person writes, I wish I could see my allies as fools, LOL. So that's the news of the day. Trump's tweeting out, threatening tariffs on Korea. And I thought that was pretty funny, though, that Korea is saying we weren't officially notified. So, Korea is not like rude in public. They try to be polite about stuff. But I'll just say this: the regular people, under no rules of that. I mean, obviously, as the president, come out and say Trump's a moron. Not many people will say that. But they'll ridicule him in certain kind of ways. Or like, well, we weren't notified. We just found out on social media. Like that's an insult, right? And it's a very subtle insult, and it just shows who Trump is, etc. So that's what's going on. I'd like to hear your thoughts, and I'll catch you all in the next video.